On the last episode, there were no flashbacks, so we had a dream sequence instead to explain the absence of Zomenius Solari IV. Zomenius has suffered migraines and lucid dreams since breathing his grandfather's ashes. While taking a nap in the cadets' quarters, another strange dream stole into his subconscious. Back amongst the silk cushions of the palatial parlor, Zom's party friend Starlet offers him a bone box with her blue six-fingered hands. His guests morph into animals. While watching safely from a mouse hole, Zom sees the crate is full of 8-legged mangoes, while the animals carry it through the palace and into danger. Zom follows, only to be challenged by guards, who he sends for a break. Waking in a cold sweat on the stairs of the academy, while all hell breaks loose down below, Zomenius realizes he has gotten past the guards in real life and heads towards his company, who have opened a real crate with real 8-legged monsters in the chambers of Mert, head of Inc. Academy. After opening the crate and unleashing the horde of 8-legged alien arachnids, Estria made amends by destroying Mert's octopi aquarium. Good thing Mert had fallen back fast asleep. Axel, Carrie, and Ace clawed, froze, and stabbed the Myogi hatchling swarm. Both ignored them and went to bite Mert's naked ass. Zom appeared. I can't take a nap without you all getting into some sort of trouble. Bless you all. Hey, pretty cat, why don't you destroy the evidence? Use this crate to bash the alien. I have a big sword. Battle raged while Mert struggled to put on some pants. Zomenius tapped into the hidden talents of his new body and patched Dr. Carrie up from her gem-inflicted wounds. Wait a second. Soon the swarm was squished and Mert was wearing pants, but he wasn't himself. Let me patch you up. He's being drugged. Bring me mother's medicine. I'm gonna puke. Take a crate. What was the last thing you remember? Drinking with Dignitary 1, and I think he left. Let me scan the room for magic. Is that Earl's bottle? Same seal. Scottish shoes. Different bottle. It has enchanted worms. The academy has been attacked. Oh, you've been attacked too. I can hear you. So rude. Okay, basically I don't know who I can trust. You lot are so new, I trust you. Keep this quiet, otherwise you'll be disintegrated. Now go to bed. The next morning, Carrie summoned a new familiar. Go and get breakfast before the flight simulation. Dr. Carrie, you reproduced. No, wait, it's not supposed to be like this. You save us a seat here at the only table available. I'll save you a seat. Carrie, please don't sit next to that freak. Those guys attacked Mert. Somebody stole my heirloom rifle. What does it look like? Silver with Ryback engraved on the barrel. What's the last thing you recall? Drinking my bedtime cocoa and the bag of cats in the kitchen. Hi, new friends. I'm McKevin. No, don't. I'm going to take a walk. Oh god, Veena's in the cool group. I'm in hell. More. Head pudding from Tardo. Psst, Ace, come help me unlock this suspicious balcony door. On it. Why is everyone leaving? They always leave. Voila! Why didn't they want us to see this? Hey, that portal reminds me of when I helped break the Feywild. What's the trouble there, McKevin? I'm freaking out about today's flight simulation. I'm Veena's navigator and she hates me if I mess up. Calm down there. Just be yourself. I will be myself. I'm going to get some pudding now. The nerd table gets pudding. We're gonna kick your ass at the race today. Hey nerds, what's up? Wait, what race? The flight today is a race. We're competing against you. A few moments later, today's flight is not a race. You will fly to a gas giant named Collier through an asteroid field and recover the captain's logbook from a wreckage and return it. Do it well, not fast. This will be fun. Now choose your roles. I'm the captain, Four Eyes is the navigator, and this is totally a race. No fun, no races. Good luck, guys. Just let me fight. Who navigate, Doctor? Me? Okay, we need a captain. I flew my old ship. That'll do. Okay, great. Now, remember, you're not inferior just because you're a lowly crew member. You matter too. You introduced that idea. We never thought that. Okay! Remember, it's all just an illusion. Get ready for takeoff. Gold Leader, are you ready? Gold Leader at the Astral oars. Pink Leader, swinging on the sails. Red Leader, starting the engines. I'm Leader, blasting off. The company plotted a perfect course through the astral sea towards their destination. I'll do some swinging. Look like bouncing the oars. Keep on rowing, keep on rowing. But despite the group's perfect navigation, an unforeseeable school of electric eels loomed on the horizon. Let us continue. So, welcome to everyone, if there's anyone there, and welcome, if not, if you're seeing this in the future. Tonight might be a bit messy. We've got a couple of people on the way in cars driving to join the session momentarily. In the meantime, we'll be kicking off and making best as we can with the three wonderful players that we have here with us immediately. I'm your GM, Kiwi, and we are roleINC, and tonight we'll be roleINC through Wildspace once again with our campaign Astral, Agents and Boats. Viz, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everybody and your character.
Yep. I'm V Islands. I'm playing Prince Zominius Solari IV, who is a Fire Genasi royal trapped in the ratty body of a rat shifter. He's a bit of a dilettante, a little bit of a royal lazy artist. So that's what I'm playing, and we're figuring out who's going to be captain right now, and he might have his eye on the captain's chair.
Beautiful. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Goonie here. I will be playing Ace, a half-elf lost boy who's found himself far, far from Neverland and in a body of a Githyanki. Gonna buckle some swashes and have a good time.
Excellent. Win, go ahead and tell us about your character.
I am Win. I am playing Dr. Carissa Tappenham, professor, teacher, wizard, formerly elf, deep down inside, still an elf, but currently stuck in a body of a creaky bug, Thrycreen, warrior guardian of some type.
Mm.
A mysterious type yet to be revealed, yet hinted at multiple instances.
Ooh.
If people were paying attention, yes. I always wonder if people pick up on those things. I guess we'll find out one day. Excellent. So, as mentioned, there is a swarm of giant electric eels that has slowed the mind-blistering pace of the Spelljamming Ship that you're in. And although you've plotted this fantastic course, there seems to be no way other than going straight through this swarm. There's no way around it. So you're going to have to do your best to go through with the ship taking as little damage as possible. So basically here what you're going to be describing for me, choosing appropriate skills according to your role, is how you minimize the hits of the electrical strikes that the boat does take. It might cause fires on the ship which you're putting out, or some other problem with the rigging or the stations or the functioning of the ship, and you're either handling it or you're adding to the maneuverability of the ship to completely veer to the left, veer to the right, and avoid it, or something else that might occur to you that your beautiful brains think of that hasn't occurred to me. So with the crew members, your options are doing something with athletics, acrobatics, sleight of hand, survival, nature, or arcana. And in this circumstances, nature can be used with wisdom instead of intelligence. Our navigator can choose to be either getting through this with arcana or survival, depending on the approach. And at the moment, our captain for this mission is on his sending stone and will be here as soon as he can join us. But you might choose to NPC him, and he can help with either survival, nature, also with wisdom, or by getting the crew moving with some type of charisma check, persuasion or intimidation. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys to tell me how, as these electrical strikes get closer and closer to the ship, how you're handling the situation so that the ship isn't damaged.
Well, so is it kind of a foregone conclusion? I guess, well, maybe not really, but we're gonna get struck by lightning at some point. Like, it's just so ubiquitous.
But the difference will be like light strikes, which are starting up like a small fire that only does superficial damage and would not take away from any of the hull points, but so long as it's controlled. Or the navigation could be according to however you approach it. If all of you are successful, that you just navigate so incredibly that it never even touches the ship. It depends on how you want to imagine it.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let Ace go first and see how his crewing is before, because Zominius could potentially be putting out fires or navigating. So he's going to let Ace go first and see how that's looking.
Okay, Ace would. I'll climb up and adjust rigging and sails. Try to just things in so that we don't have like a lot of stuff out getting struck by lightning or tangled up with eels. So
yeah, sails catching fire is not a great
I wouldn't think so. So if I could like scramble up the masts and riggings and stuff and just start trimming sails back or whatever, I guess acrobatics.
Yes, absolutely. Or use sleight of hands for the knotting.
Okay. 2 acrobatics for scramble up super fast, and if we have to do it again, do sleight of hand. So 16.
All right, the magic number is 13. So tell us how that looks like.
Okay. So quickly climbing up, grabbing a rope, swing to another one, grabbing it, pulling it to just pull in the sails, climbing up, untying knot. Yeah, this it looks like just total chaos, but I know exactly which sail to pull down and to pull in to speed us along.
Excellent. So, Zominius sees that things are going well initially as you're entering the electrical storm, and the trimming of the sails is certainly making it a much harder target for the damage.
Zominius is going to see that, and in that moment where he was hesitating between preparing to put out fires and helping with the rigging, he sees that, Ace is being a badass up there, and he's like, okay, seems like we can do this. He passes his hand before his face and asks for the guidance of the flame, casting guidance on himself, and then he is going to jump up and say, Ace, tell me what to do. I'm going to help you. And he is going to use acrobatics as he kind of climbs up there to start getting the sails and pulling in. And maybe Ace is shouting across like this electric storm, which ropes and what to grab and how to help him. And he's going to attempt as well an acrobatics. Ooh, and he rolls an 8. Does not do it. Does not do it.
Okay, so there has been, as you've climbed up, an impact right near around the area of the ship where you are. You're going to describe it for me, and how much actual damage it does to the ship is going to be affected by how cool your description is. So the cooler the description, the less actual damage.
Man, but I want to kind of, I want it to be a lot of, okay, so basically he's climbing up and there is, the wind is whipping in his red hair and he's flying back and he says, Ace, I'm here. And just as he's climbing up to reach for like the rope, there's a crack and a lightning strikes right on the mast and it doesn't hit him, but it kind of throws him to the side. There's the sonic like boom of the thunder right afterward, and he's suddenly hanging by one hand onto like one of the masts. He's just holding on. There's a black bird on the mast next to him, and he's like, you can see he's kind of dazed. His eyes are closed.
Beautiful. Minimum damage.
Sweet.
All right.
Okay.
So the mast has taken 4 damage there. There could be some fires that have been provoked then on the deck. That could be other NPC characters that we talked about that you could take charge of while those guys aren't here. Could be putting out those fires. Would you like to use one of the collectively before Dr. Carey makes the navigation check, which kind of like finalizes things, or do you want to take your turn now, for Dr. Carey, before using the crew or NPCing either Estria or Axel?
I definitely think we should use the crew or
Seems like.
and yeah.
Good call.
I think Axel would. Kabuki said Axel would be, rowing his heart out. So hopefully he's down there just like going crazy on the rows, trying to get us through here as quickly as possible. So I think that's what he would be doing in that moment.
Do you want to be using him, or do you want to be using the captain on this round? Because you can use one of either Axel or Estria, and then you have to use the crew.
Axel. I think Axel. Yeah. Have him make that athletics check,
I think so.
rowing, get us through here as quick as possible.
All right, so he's putting on the speed boost
Yeah.
for a swift passage. All right.
All right, and then do I? So I can also activate the ghost crew with a charisma check.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So, Zominius is holding on, and he reaches out and he suddenly feels like almost maybe sympathetic connection to the ship and to some other. Nice.
20.
Roll from Axel. And he is going to reach out with his sort of spirit and say, like, maybe he's caught up. He forgets that this is all a test, and he's now like laugh or death mode, and he's like, please, assist us, put out these flames, help us through this. And he is going to use persuasion. So 13.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the DC is.
So 13 is good. So the basic DC is 10, but it remains the better the charisma check, the better the crew performs. So you see these kind of illusory shapes start to, like, as you're imagining and wanting to use them, they become more solid, more and more real, and more usable as part of this very complex illusion. And this is going to give them a normal roll, and they have sleight of hand, athletics, and survival. Sleight of hand gives them +3, athletics +4, survival +3. So for putting out the fire, they could certainly use any of those skills in different ways to sleight of hand. They might be using like wet cloths to whip out the fires, or athletics, they might be dragging barrels of water and tipping them onto the fire, or survival, they might just their general sense of knowing how to put out fires in a swift and effective way.
Okay. I think I'll have them dragging with the athletics. Maybe it's like they're reaching, because they're illusions. They're like almost reaching. They're interacting with the illusion in a way that we can't. Like they're reaching into. It's almost like they're reaching into nothingness and dragging out these barrels and to dump on the flames. So I'll go for an athletics check.
All right. So with the +4 modifier, then.
You said +1?
+4.
Oh. Okay, cool. Do you want me to roll?
Yep. I hate playing myself.
Sure, fair enough. Okay, then we're at 15. 15 total.
Okay. Things are going excellently with the turbo boost from the oars below. The strike that the mast took and the fires that sparked up, the illusory crew responds to Zominius's bidding, and it's quickly put out before it can do any further serious damage to the crew. And with that boost, that amazing ore boost, Dr. Carey can feel like he can really push it through the storm. So that's going to give you an advantage with that crit that Axel got there.
Oh yeah. And then +1 from Ace.
That was just limiting. That was just not being hit. Like.
Okay. It wasn't a navigation.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Right, so it carries up to take her session.
Yes.
I mean, so setting the scene. I'm imagining there's like these huge eels that are coming from like all directions, and we have to sort of steer our way through a tunnel of the gauntlet of lightning zappy.
Exactly what's happening. Like they're not aiming their electricity at you. It's just jumping from one to the other. So you're avoiding these columns of lightning and these moving bodies that are changing the shape of that tunnel constantly, making it much more challenging than what might be navigating through a canyon.
Okay. So we're pulling up to this. Is the crew is pulling in all the stops, streamlining the ship, and Carrie she says, "Oh well, if we just go down the middle of the tunnel, then we'll be taking assaults from all sides. We have to steer as close as we can to this series of eels." And she sort of pulls the ship in and uses the boost to try to cream as close as she can under one eel. We rotate barrel roll to get under the next eel, so that we're trying to use the eels against them as a shield to all the blasts.
Beautiful.
Let's go, Carrie.
All right, and then I can roll Arcana for that. Is what we decided.
Yes, you can.
All right, can I though? That's a funny thing. Nope. One day I'll remember how to actually use this system. Here we go. All right, so I think I've advantage clicked. I did. All right, that's a 21.
All right. The crew have worked magnificently to give Dr. Carey the absolute best chance to power through this moving swarm of electric eels, and you emerge the ship. Just a slight black mark left on the sail from one minor zap that it took.
Oh yeah.
Emerging on the other side, Dr. Carey feels immediately, as soon as you move away from this obstacle, you can take the Spelljammer back into this thought speed, where you can project again from the original navigation past back to the incredible speeds that you can move at. And so again, the ship's just everything's lights moving towards your destination, and this continues for about a minute of real time, which is.
Can I check my shark head rearview mirrors to see what happened to the folks behind us?
Yes.
Or next to us?
Yes. As you shift your senses to what happened with the others that are slightly behind you, you see a second hammer ship barrel rolling expertly through the eels.
She copied me.
And literally, like in your slipstream, almost using the beautiful path that you created to just slide in there, and
we never signed an honor code, did we?
I'm acting very unimpressed, but I'm like secretly like, whoa.
The only thing you can think of is from the nervous wreck that was in the cafeteria this morning. Like McKevin's really like pulling this one out of the bag, because you just did a magnificent job to navigate that storm. So
good for him then. Okay.
So
that was the talk we gave that little weirdo.
Yeah, I told you.
Talked him up too much.
What did I tell you, Carrie?
So about a minute later of real time traveling at these incredible speeds, the ship slows once again, and you come back into a normal ship speed at the edge of an asteroid cluster. According to your instructions, the wreckage is within the asteroid cluster. The challenge now being safely navigating this very dangerous field of floating chunks of space rock without damaging your ship. Each of you now will have to make a decision. The choice is to either dedicate your efforts to helping your navigator with their navigation roll,
Yeah.
or preparing the ship, bracing for any type of impact that might be inevitable, which would reduce any potential damage to the ship if Dr. Gary's navigation does lead to grazing one of the asteroids. You could reduce that potential damage with your check, or you can provide Dr. Gary with a bonus to their maneuver check to get through here.
Well, one of those options sounds like they wouldn't be very confident in my abilities now, doesn't it?
Yeah, so Benius, like he looks up and he sees, like, everyone looks over and sees the asteroid field, and he says, "Sweet fire." He says, "All right, I'm gonna go. I'll go and help Dr. Carey." And he kind of runs off down towards the chamber, and pushes open the door, and he says, "Doctor, you can do it. I believe in you. Just keep your hands steady. I know you've those maybe not." And he kind of starts looking at the actual bug hands, and he's like, well, just keep your wits about you. And he's gonna give Carrie a bardic inspiration, and then he will use his role to assist him.
Okay, so to actually assist him, you're going to have to occupy one of the jamming stations on the ship, which will put your movements in sync to help the ship sync up with Dr. Carey's ability. So there can be one of the jamming. We kind of made the burning hands a jamming station to ignite the ship. So again, how this works exactly can be within your imagination, but you're going to be contributing to making the ship more maneuverable and easier to in whichever way you choose to have that work. But you're basically occupying one of the jamming stations of the ship and making it function.
Yeah, so after he kind of gives Carrie the pep talk, he'll go stick his hands over the flames and modulate them, basically. So instead of just pumping them up so you move as quickly as possible, he's going to soothe them and cool them down and make them very steady somehow. So he's going to use his Control Flames cantrip to do that.
Nice. Okay, so basically the idea was that athletics or dexterity acrobatics check was going to be necessary, but because you're doing this, the cantrip's given you the ability to instead use an arcana check instead.
Okay. Acrobatics is actually better for you, but I'll go with arcana just for the flavor of it.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, I don't get it. I get a 7, unfortunately.
Okay. So what happens is as you're this unfamiliar kind of device that you naturally got started very quickly seems to have some more subtlety to it. So what happens is you try to modulate the engine, so to speak.
I think he kind of is trying to soothe the flame, and it gets a little bit too. It's like zoom, like it actually powers down for a second, and he's like, "Oh no, and he's like it's like out, and he's trying to light it back on fire. So it's kind of. It's almost like you're pressing on the brake a little bit too hard when you're driving a car, and it kind of goes, and that's what happens.
Okay.
Yep.
What's Ace gonna do, Goonie?
So I'm outside. I see Zozo run in. I trust these guys have it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got this out here. I'm gonna run around and just, tie things down, bat the hatches, so to speak. Just for evasive maneuvers, some things will slide off or come crashing around and cause more damage. So I think I'd be rolling sleight of hand, just scrambling and tying things down, packing things away. Just generally making sure things aren't flying around and crashing into anything. Oh no! So that one.
Thanks for nothing with us.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm tying myself into something just because I'm.
So we also could try and use Estria here, right, as a NPC to do the captain action to give you a reroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
If not now, then when?
Yeah.
Let's definitely try that. Here it goes. Oh my God! What is that?
Come on!
2 in a row. It just wasn't meant to be. tying myself
Wow.
to a crate or
So as Estria ran over to try and assist you with the packing and the battening down the hatches, a small asteroid just impacts the ship right where Ace and Estria are. So both of you need to, as the deck of the ship kind of almost ripples with the impact of this quite a small piece of rock, but just space speeds. It hits and you feel the ripple go through the deck, almost like throw you off the deck. You're going to have to use your strength in this case, a strength saving throw, to not be thrown off the ship into Wildspace. And as Estria's come to help you, they are also affected by this and will also need to make a strength saving throw.
all right. Strength is not my strongest.
Nor Estria's.
All right. Beast
So
of Famine.
I'm saw it coming.
Okay.
Nice. So yeah, I see it coming. I'm like, grab Estria actually. Like, oh, watch out! And at least we managed to not get blown off the ship.
Lovely.
And now we ghost crew.
Well, unfortunately, with the burning of the motor, there's like a flare up of flames that has spiked towards your face. You can try and move aside from it very quickly with a dexterity saving throw, or it's gonna like burn your face.
Yeah, I guess he'll try. He'll try and make a dex save. Get out of the way. He rolls the 9 total, so he does not. He's not a particularly swift guy.
Okay, so that's 2 fire damage you've taken.
So it's actually only 1 fire damage because he
Yes.
has resistance. So he hardly blinks. You know, it's kind of like a pinch. Damn, he's just like, ugh.
Okay. So the 3 successes necessary. At the moment we've got 2 strikes and we've got 3 actors who can still try and get the ship safely through this asteroid cluster. One being the crew, one being Axel in this case because you've kind of used the captain action with Istria, and of course Dr. Carey.
Okay, so Zaminius is going to try and activate the crew, kind of reach out with his sympathy again and say, "Please, I know you're dead. Don't abandon us now. We're almost through the finish line. Where's your pride?" And he's going to attempt another persuasion check. Woo, nice. So 24 crushes it.
The crew has advantage. I'm going to ask either Goonie or Win to tell us how the crew react as these illusory crew members kind of become more and more solid and more like high AI intelligence kind of thing as you bring them into life in this illusion.
I guess I'm stepping in. I think you know it's almost like a ghost crew. You know, they're on the ship, but as the ship sails, they rest, and yet when they feel a disturbance, when they feel the ship being attacked, they rise up, and so they feel through Zome's words and then the peril of the fire and then the strikes that now is the time that they must follow a new leader.
Yes, and how do they help out the ship? What do they start doing? Remembering that their 3 good skills are athletics, sleight of hand, or survival.
Well, I feel like they would understand more about actual, you know, how the actual operations of a ship. So I think, you know, we're kind of out there, we're shooting up poles, we're kind of jerking the wheel left and right, but they understand that when you're in, you know, deep space, you take a strike like this, like, you know, you need to shore up that spar, you gotta cover this over, and so they take to the nitty gritty of the carpenters and the seamen.
So are they helping
they
your
see
role?
They see that we're not there for that.
Or are they protecting the ship?
They're protecting the ship, yes.
Okay. All right. So would you like them to do that with athletics, with sleight of hand, or with survival?
I guess if they're doing repairs, survival makes the most sense. They're trying to keep us flying.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we're green or whatever color our current hats are.
All right.
Forget.
Add a +3 modifier to the roll.
This is gonna be a roll off my character sheet.
Yeah, just roll a d20, put a +3 in the modifier, and roll a d3.
Oh, just d20. All right,
Yeah.
great.
With advantage, too.
Uh-oh, I didn't do the advantage. So that was a 12. All right, I'm doing it again. All right, so either a 13 or 22. All right.
Rolled over that one. Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So like the ghost army in Lord of the Rings there that rises up. They shore up the ship just in case it takes any damage from what is about to come. Goonie, I'm going to ask you to tell us what Axel does in that case.
Okay.
Rowing isn't kind of really needed at this point here, unless he's like going to be adding like jamming oars to help slide through, or is he going to be like coming out from below to protect the ship?
I see him more as a protector than navigator. I don't want to. Yeah, I see him more as the type to be out on the deck, kind of with helping them protect. So what would he do?
Okay, so his best skill's probably going to be his athletics. So.
Right. So yeah, he would be like probably bellowing, just tell me what to do to the crew, taking direction, like grabbing something, holding up boards for them to, affix, or moving the mast and pulling big ropes in. I don't know.
Okay. $14. That's the magic number. 2 and
nice.
2. It all comes down to Dr. Carey.
Oh no.
Carrie's got it.
All right, so the mission is that we're supposed to find like a broken down ship somewhere in the middle of this asteroid belt.
Yeah,
which is a captain's log.
Get through this part of the cluster, you should be able to arrive at whatever wreckage there is. But at the moment, your obstacle is actually getting safely through these chunks of space rocks.
Right. All right. So this takes some fancy flying again, but I don't want that copycat, Jason. All right, so she's going to the real thing she's going to put her mind into is not just going in a straight line, which is there's asteroids floating this way and that way and the other way. So, but she wants to kind of try to psych out Kevin so that he I dodge one way, but then at the last second I turn over and an asteroid crosses this way and that and blocks him from copycatting me.
Nice.
She's very mad that he's looking over her shoulder and copying her answers.
Your option is always Arcana.
Yeah,
you can also use Perception if you preferred, or if you wanted to like make McKevin like try and follow your path and like have an upset, you could use Deception instead.
Oh yeah, I do like that idea, even though my charisma is not excellent, but that's really what her heart is in right now. So I think I might need to roll that anyways.
Go for it.
This is just a straight roll of my deception with no.
If I think it would be appropriate that as someone who's able with ships, that if you're not proficient in, are you proficient with perception? With deception?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so we're gonna apply your proficiency with naval vehicles. As you've had some time now with the Spelljammer starting to come out, you can feel the similarities with the boats, and there's some similarities that you're starting to get the feel of.
Okay, I can do that. And from like the crew rolls and all that we sort of washed out to no special bonus above that.
Sorry?
We the crew is not successful enough to add buffs above just my proficiency. Is that
No,
right?
they decided to protect the ship. So if this fails,
Right,
it's
okay.
going to take
No,
less
that's
damage.
right. Right.
It had inspiration though, bardic
You do
inspiration,
have
right?
bardic inspiration if you need
I
it.
did have bardic inspiration. All right. Navigator's tools. All right. Let's roll the tools, and then I guess we'll go from there. Oh yeah. 24 on that. All right. She is flying.
I knew she could do it.
I mean, she's I guess is flying through nether ether. Anyway, she spins this way and then ducks at that. She calculates just the right trajectories. She uses math yet again to solve all of those problems.
Okay. So just so I can calculate the DC for McKevin against your deception roll, what would your actual? That's using your intelligence modifier, I guess, right? What would it
That
have been
did,
with
yes.
your charisma modifier?
My charisma's actually not like terrible. My charisma, the problem was it's 16. That's actually my next highest stat. I'm a leader of men, it turns out.
Nice. So
Nice.
it's the same. So it's the same.
Yes,
roll,
it
right?
is the same. I just don't have proficiency. That's
Okay.
it. She's bad at lying, but she's charming in her own subtle ways.
In that case, unless this is a crit, there's nothing he can do about it.
Wow.
Came close though. Good on him.
Okay. You, in your rear view hammership mirror there, you see once again that McKevin is trying to get in your slipstream, and you've hoodwinked him, and he's gone straight into the side. It's just scraped along the side of an asteroid, and it could look. You can see that it could have been disastrous. It could have been the complete wreckage of the ship, and somehow he pulls it out to pull it away. It's taken some damage, but it jerks the ship so violently that you start to see bodies from the deck come flying off the deck, and you see the very distinctive headpiece of Veena go wheeling off the deck and into Wildspace as the rest of the crew start like throwing out grappling hooks and ropes to try and like reel them back in before they're completely lost. But your maneuver has worked spectacularly as you avoid any damage to the ship. And with Kabuki's arrival, we'll come back after a very quick break while I readjust the cameras. Okay, but you've
Sweet.
gotten through the cluster magnificently.
Very nice.
Ooh, see ya, nerds.
Couldn't have happened to a better person, huh?